to figure out your priorities for your big day.
Welcome back to Bride Society. I'm Laura, this is Rebecca, and today we are on hand if you're at the beginning of your wedding planning process and just trying to figure out what is important to you to have as part of your wedding. So determining those priorities that you and your partner have to make sure that you both have the wedding that you want, basically, and hopefully make the whole planning process a little less stressful, go a bit smoother because you've got a focus of where you want to put your budget and how you want to spend that.
Yeah, shared vision.
Hopefully.
So, creating that shared vision, well, you need to come up with a vision. So, it might be that you have always imagined your wedding day and you know exactly what you want it to look like. But if you're watching this video, you're maybe not one of those people, or it's patchy. We would recommend sort of starting off by just trying to literally sit and imagine your wedding day. So it's a wedding day where, you know, you're feeling happy and comfortable, and so what are the things around you that you feel like produce that? Like, what kind of, you know, setting are you in? Are there a lot of people there? Are there only a few people there? Like, it's, you know, when you imagine, so if you sit there and imagine yourself, you know, in front of the 100 people, like, does that fill you with kind of excitement and you're excited to have everybody you know there love sharing your big day? Or does it kind of fill you with horror and you think, no, I just want to elope, or I just want me and my immediate family there? So it's really just trying to picture and imagine what's there, what's around you, where that might be. Like, do you feel yourself maybe having a destination wedding, perhaps? Like, is it actually, you know, where you were originally from? Like, have you got an urge to kind of go back to your hometown kind of thing? Like, yeah, it's just sitting down and letting your mind kind of build a picture.
And then that will hopefully help inform the next step we recommend, which is then listing all the things you can think of that goes into a wedding. So like the venue, food, drinks, photography, outfits, entertainment, every possible thing you can think of, transport, logistics, honeymoon, things like that. Do this separately as an exercise and rank them, how important they are to you, down to least important. So if after you've been thinking about what your vision is for your wedding, if, for example, the thought of a huge venue with lots of people fills you with dread, then you know that a big venue will factor lower down on your priority list than maybe a smaller one, or a location that you would go to elope type thing. So rank them in order to start getting a picture of what is the most important thing to you to have as part of the day.
Yeah. And then once you've got your lists separately, you then come together, you know, have your glass of wine or make an evening of it, and you're going to compare your lists and where those priorities ranked. And obviously, like, I mean, it'd be amazing if they're all perfectly aligned. Chances are some will, some won't. And then, so yeah, it's seeing where those kind of top priorities are. Where's the common ground? And that's probably going to be where you then determine where the most budget's going to go. I mean, obviously, if money's not an issue, spend as much money on your life on all of the different points and then go for it. But yeah, if you're trying to sort of determine where that money goes, this is why kind of figuring out your priorities is a great thing to do, because this helps you focus your attention around where the spend is going to be. So yeah, if you both really want an open bar, great, you know there's money that you need to set aside for that. And obviously other areas might need a bit of compromise. Sorry, I feel like it's a dirty word, but I said it.
And there are still ways to compromise, but still getting what you want. So if food like a really high-end quality meal is really important to you. So for example, if your hobbies are going out to Michelin star restaurants and you want to share really top quality food with your guests, but you only have a limited budget for that, one way to compromise so you're still having that element of the wedding that you want is maybe to reduce your guest numbers slightly. So there are ways of tweaking things so you're just feeding fewer people, especially if you don't necessarily feel as though you need to have everybody you've ever met in your life come to your wedding to share that day with you. If you're thinking a maybe slightly more curated guest list works for you as a couple, then that could be the way to kind of compromise on things to make it work so you still get those higher priority things as part of the wedding.
Yeah, I feel like with some of these, like, the priorities sort of have a knock-on effect in a way, don't they? Yeah, so it's like, well, yeah, food's your priority, but yeah, then there's a knock-on maybe to the guest list, but then, yeah, is that a priority? Yeah. There's potential, like, knock-on effects, but hopefully, like you say, like, if that turns out to be that is a higher priority to you, the both of you, then... Yeah.
I mean, a lot of this will be because of the budget. That will be the reason why you might have to compromise on some things or tweak things or be strategic with where you put your budget. So it's very important to have that discussion about the overall budget you have to spend on your wedding to begin with. And then once you have figured out your priority list, doing a bit of research into how much certain things cost, because you might have an idea, oh, I'm going to spend X amount of money on a photographer, but in reality, that figure that you just made up in your head because you've never hired a photographer before might not be a realistic figure. So yeah, doing a bit of research to work out vague prices around things will also then help you decide what you can fit in, what you can go ahead with, and all that jazz.
Yeah, and it's also deciding, once you've compared your list, not only about your top priorities, but also what are your non-negotiables.
Yeah.
So, like, this can't be vetoed, this, like, absolutely has to happen. That's also an important conversation to have as part of that. But yeah, above all, really, it's remembering as much as you can figure out all these priorities and align them, and even if you perfectly matched in that idyllic scenario, it's still remembering you're going to need to be flexible. So as I said, like, you know, you've got your budget and things, and even if you started to, like, look up prices and things, like, things crop up, things change, there might be things that you haven't actually even thought of that you will need as part of your one day, and that suddenly has to creep into the budget, and where's that money then coming from? So yeah, you've got your non-negotiables, you've got your priority list, but yeah, it's still trying not to get too rigid in then that mentality, and just remembering, hold on to the flexible thinking.
Well, especially because you are relying on other people a lot of the time to make your wedding happen. So if you have a specific supplier or venue that you might think, that is the supplier for me, that is a venue for me, there is a chance they might not be available on maybe the date you were originally thinking. But again, being flexible, and the compromise could be, if it's a venue, you maybe change the date to work to get that venue, as long as the date isn't so meaningful that was one of your non-negotiables. We have to get married on that
like,
date.
Oh, or spring is our non-negotiable. Well, maybe you could be autumn. Yeah.
Yeah. So lots to think about, but hopefully, as long as you're both on the same page broadly, you know the way you're heading towards the wedding that you want to have, you'll get there and you'll have a brilliant day, and you'll be married, and that's the most important thing.
So yes, we hope you found that helpful, and it's helped frame some of your thinking, and that you're both planning the same wedding. Yes, if you've got any other key kind of points that you think will be helpful for other couples, please drop them in the comments below, and of course if you've got any questions, pop them in there as well, because we do look. If you liked the video, please give it a like, and of course don't forget to subscribe, because we're here every Friday with even more content like this.